You know, my family thinks I'm crazy. Going out, chasing storms like that. I don't think I'm crazy. There's something very peaceful in storms. I grew up with this. I've always just really liked the stormy time of year. I feel like I have a great respect for storms. I'm not chasing the storms for this content. I do respect storms. And when you're driving on the Eastern Plains, you can actually sort of see how the storm is moving. And you can drive on county roads that crisscross through the state in a way that you feel pretty safe about not being in the line or in the path of something really, really nasty. So how did I get here? It started innocently enough. I was taking some county road and I came upon this house, this abandoned, crazy, like ruinous scene. I turned around, I drove by it, turned around, I came back, the rain was really coming down pretty hard. It was kind of hitting me sideways. Got out of the car, happened to have my action cam recording, so I did record myself taking photos of that scene. I really liked those photos and I decided that I wanted to go out and try to find more structures like that, you know, abandoned buildings kind of thing. So that's where this all started. But then almost immediately after that, I found myself driving down a road just outside of Denver. And I was looking up in the sky and I was like, there is something forming in the sky. And I actually snapped a couple of photos from within the car. And as soon as I got through the stop sign and I went down the hill, I pulled over. And I pulled over and I got out with my camera and I started taking photos of this, I guess it's a land spout. Looks very much like a little tiny tornado. And while I was taking those photos, you could see off in the distance several of these little landspouts popping up on the horizon. It was actually a really incredible scene. And when I was coming down this road, there was a house that I had passed earlier and I saw that it had a ton of lights on the front. And when I was driving back, I put my Leica Q3 in manual focus and I focused to infinity at f8. And then I just sort of held the camera in the windshield and prepared myself for the shot. And the reason I wanted to do infinity and not do autofocus was I was afraid I was going to just focus on the raindrops on the windshield. And I didn't want that. I wanted to try to get this house. And so as I'm driving by, I see this house coming up and it's got all those lights on and it's pouring rain, and I turn off the windshield wipers for a second and I take this photo. And this photo ended up inspiring a season of chasing. The photo was in such a way that it almost looked painterly and very ominous. I was very excited about this style and I wanted to go after it, kind of chasing these storms, you know, really watching the weather and trying to figure out where to go out on the plains to find these photographs. And over the course of the next few months, I took more and more of these photos. And And I got myself into all manner of situations where I felt totally in control and I knew exactly where the storm was, and I was taking photos of lightning. And there were other times where I actually found myself like in a field taking photos of lightning, recognizing that the lightning was probably getting a little too close for comfort. There's a saying that if you can see it, you're too close, meaning it can appear to strike far away and then strike right next to you in a moment's notice. And I know that. I do respect this weather. I'd get back in the car and then I recognize that for me to get out of here, I really have to haul. The way I came in is now closed off and I have to get out of here. So there were definitely different levels of fear factor going on with this photo chase that I was doing. And the wonderful thing about this chase was it stemmed entirely out of a desire to take more photos like the one I snapped earlier in the season. And I didn't have anything in mind with it, and I just really enjoyed it. So there was no ulterior motive to doing it. And then over the course of time, as I'm posting these photos over and over to my social media accounts, and I even started a series on glass called Storms on the Plains, and I was like, oh, this is great use of series. I can just dump these photos into my series, and there's a whole collection of these photographs. And then one day I posted to Blue Sky and somebody responded that they would love to see these in a book. And I swear that was the first moment that I thought, I've always wanted to do a zine. And here I found myself in the midst of a project that I didn't even know I was doing. I did not intentionally set out with the idea of doing Storms on the Plains as a project. And yet here I was, a few months into the season with a ton of photography, black and white photography of storms on the plains. And so now I'm actually looking at all these photos and reminiscing of all these travels and wondering if I should do a zine. I have no idea if anybody would even be interested in my work. I have yet to sell anything as a photographer, but I do think that there is a story here. And so I'm actually kind of excited by the idea that this could be the first thing that I try to sell. Please let me know in the comments if me creating one of these zines would actually be something of interest to you. I may do it regardless, even if nobody's interested, just to see my own work in a little zine. I think that would be great. I think if I have a story about this, it's not just that I love the storms, it's that I found myself a project by simply chasing something that I was enjoying. With these storm chases, you really just get these really cool dramatic effects, and I really like it. And one of the things that I really like about it is it explodes some of the ideas around photography by saying, I'm not interested in razor sharp focus. The rule of thirds is out the window. I am taking photos of a moment. I'm like seeking things out with my camera in the rain that kind of add to a vibe that I'm going for. And they don't play by a lot of the rules that you see. And so I just find it really fascinating that I'm here toward the end of the summer of 2025 and I'm looking back at a bunch of work that I did, and I inadvertently was doing a project, trying to explore a space of a photographic style. It was completely worth all the miles I put on my car, all the bad snacks that I ate, just to go out and get these photos. It was really a fun experience. I guess that's it. I think it's a pretty simple video. I just wanted to share how much fun it is when you find something that you love doing. The fact that I didn't recognize this as a project is really, really interesting to me. Like, it was just fun. I was just chasing something that I enjoyed. So Yeah, I don't know if everybody has that experience or not, but that was really cool. Anyway, I thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoyed this, please remember to give it a thumbs up. It really helps, and subscribe if you haven't. I want to do a lot more content like this, and also let me know if you're interested in me doing one of these zines. I'll actually do a behind the scenes, how I'm putting it together and everything, and show you the process. I would love to do this. So I guess I'm gauging interest at this moment. And that's it for me. I thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Thank you. Bye.